Roblox being discarded as a kids game is something I see far too often. People say the community and the Lego-styled graphics ruin the game, and though that may be true in some cases, I believe Roblox is one of the best platforms on the internet. It has easy accessibility, and it's really easy to play with friends. Also, if you like creating games, you can do that yourself and actually generate a stable income if your game does well. Roblox isn't just a bad platform with kids virtually dating. Roblox is a platform that can generate some really good games. In this video, I'll be looking at some of the good games, but for the sake of being fair, I'll also show some bad games. And to stay true to my channel so far, I'll be looking at the horror genre. Also, before I get into the games, I want to state that all the games I'm going to look at aren't going to be very scary. This is Roblox after all. I'll go into more detail on why that is later, but with that, let's check out the first game, Doors. Doors was created by Splash on August 10th, 2022. Doors is a game that was inspired by Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion and another Roblox game called Rooms. All these games I just mentioned follow a very similar gameplay loop. You try to get as far as you can without dying. I feel like Doors manages to pull off this style of gameplay off the best though. Doors is a much shorter game. It only has 100 doors, while Spooky's has a whopping 1,000. Doors is also made in a very interesting way. You see, each enemy in the game is very unique, but the game never tells you how they work, so the game is very trial and error. Speaking of entities, each one is very cool. As I said before, each entity is very unique, and I'll go over all of them really quickly. Rush is probably the most common entity in Doors. When you see lights flicker above you, Rush is most likely sprinting 1,000 miles per hour to your location. You need to quickly hide in a closet or under a bed. If you fail to do this, Rush will kill you. Although, it is possible for Rush to show up when the lights are off, so the lights won't flicker, but you'll probably hear him screaming louder than a pro Fortnite player losing a tournament. Screech is probably the most recognizable entity, and it's for all the wrong reasons. Screech will show up in dark rooms and make a sound. When you hear that, you have to quickly look around and find him. When you see him, put your mouse over it and it'll go away. If you fail to do this, Screech will take a delicious bite out of you, dealing tons of damage. Eyes is next up on the list and my personal favorite entity. Eyes is one of the simpler entities. When you look at it, you take rapid damage. To avoid this, look away or look down. Hide is an entity that prevents you from staying in a closet for too long. When you're in a closet and you start to see red, it's probably best that you get out. Glitch is an entity that had its mechanics changed in the Hotel Plus update. It acts as a failsafe in case a room fails to load. Ambush works a lot like Rush, but on crack. Instead of leaving after it first appears, it will rebound back and try to catch you off guard. This is how a lot of people die on their first few playthroughs. Even after around 50 games, I still find myself dying to Ambush every once in a while. Dupe is a new entity in the Hotel Plus update. When Doors first came out, you never had a reason to memorize each door, but with Dupe, that changes. Since Dupe is a pretty common entity, you'll always have to keep track on which door you're on. If you don't, you'll lose a chunk of health. Seek is a very interesting entity. He's kind of like a mini-boss that you'll face twice in your playthrough. You'll know he's coming when you see a ton of eyes forming on the walls. Then, when you enter a long hallway, he'll appear out of the ground and begin chasing you. He isn't too difficult to outrun, but if you mess up once or twice, you're as good as dead. Figure is the main antagonist of Doors. You'll see him on door 50 and door 100. I won't go into too much detail or else we'd be here all day. I think it's just better if you see it for yourself. There are a few other entities, but they're pretty minor. Doors never tells you how to deal with any of these entities, unless you die of course. So, after a ton of trial and error, you should be able to beat Doors. But, with all that being said, I believe Doors is one of the best Roblox games. I totally recommend it to anyone who hasn't even played it yet. Now, let's move on to the next game. The next game I'll be talking about is Piggy. Piggy is another really popular game on Roblox, and it was created by Minitoon and released on January 28th, 2020. I feel like I'm qualified to talk about Piggy because I played it way too much. And after playing other Roblox games, I feel kinda about it. Let me explain. Piggy is a game that can be enjoyable, but after a few games, it feels like hell to play. I feel like Piggy suffers from a boring gameplay loop. Piggy is a granny-inspired game, and it really shows. Minitoon originally created this game as a joke, but since the game had a huge rise in popularity, Minitoon decided to continue it and add a story. Strangely enough, the game's story takes inspiration from games like Slendytubbies as well. I feel like the story came in a little too late, and I haven't even talked about Piggy Book 2's Rush story. But that isn't really what I want to talk about today. I'd rather save that for a future video. For now, I want to talk about the gameplay and why I think it's bad. As I stated before, the game suffers from repetition and just being really boring. But I've been throwing those words around without any reason, so let me give you guys some reasons. In Piggy, there's a few game modes to choose from. Bot is a game mode where an AI controls the Piggy. The AI usually sucks and breaks mid-game. Player is another game mode, but instead of a stupid AI controlling the Piggy, a player controls it instead. Player plus bot is a combination of the last two game modes. Infection is just player, but whenever a Piggy kills another player, that player turns into a Piggy as well. Trader is just funny space game, but Roblox. And tag sucks. That's all you need to know. Swarm is a game mode where bots spawn throughout the game. Each bot will go faster over time. Out of all of them, you're only really going to be playing player and bot. Aside from those game modes, there are 24 chapters to play, including Book 2. And that's basically all there is. There's also a build mode, but it can be glitchy. Other than that, you're just going to be running away from really stupid players or really stupid bots. So in conclusion, Piggy is just another bad mascot horror game that's only popular because of kids who are afraid of loud noises while a 3-frame animation plays. So, I believe this is just a bad Roblox horror game with a boring gameplay loop. Anyway, let's move on. The next game on the list is Forgotten Memories. Forgotten Memories is a free room FNAF fan game on Roblox. There are 5 total nights. Each night introduces a new animatronic. There is also a custom night and nightmare modes for each night. The gameplay you see on screen right now is one of those nightmare nights. That aside, the game looks really nice. The gameplay looks as smooth as doors, and the setting of the game looks really spooky. So far, the game is a sexy thumbs up. But what's the actual gameplay like? Is it good? That's what I want to see. In Forgotten Memories, it's highly recommended that you play with others. There are a few tasks that you're going to have to do, and you'll need people to be doing them, while others stay in the office. Forgotten Memories has 6 animatronics to worry about. The first one you'll encounter is Freddy himself. Freddy will commonly roam around the dining room and party halls. When he spots you, you'll have to book it to a locker. If he catches you, you'll die. On night 2, Bonnie will wake up from his nap and start attacking you. You'll usually see him at the loading docks in the hallway to the left side of your office. He's really only a threat when you have to fix oxygen. When night 3 comes around, Foxy will start coming to gobble you up. Foxy will reside in his pirate cove for a period of time, but if he leaves his cove, he's one of the fastest animatronics. But you can slow him down a lot if you shine a light source at him. After some time, he'll go back to his cove. On night 4, Chica will wake up and start making Rule 34 artists go crazy. Chica's actually one of the easiest animatronics in the game. She'll roam around the generator halls and make it harder for the player to restart generators. But if you look at her, she'll stop in place. And if you turn a corner, she'll forget where you are, somehow. And for the 2 bonus animatronics, we have Golden Freddy and Marionette. Golden Freddy will randomly appear when a player stays still or when the power goes out for a long period of time. To get rid of him, just move around like a madman. Marionette will reside in your office. The curtain slowly opens during the night, and it's your job to shut it. If you fail to do so, Marionette will beat you up. And those are all the animatronics currently in the game. I don't know if the game will receive any updates, but I sure hope it will. I do like this game, and I think it's very high quality. And anyone who hasn't tried it should play it. Anyways, let's move on to the last game. The last game on the list is Rainbow Friends. Rainbow Friends was created by Fragment Games in 2021. It's one of the most played Roblox horror games on the site, and there's no denying the fact that it looks very similar to Poppy Playtime and 5 Nights at Freddy's. And if I had to summarize this game, I would say mindless, boring garbage. Rainbow Friends is not only incredibly easy, it's also not spooky in the slightest. And yes, I know horror is subjective, but I can't imagine anyone genuinely being afraid of... Anyways, I should probably tell you the gameplay loop of Rainbow Friends, and this won't take long at all. Rainbow Friends is split up into 3 nights, each night introducing a new monster. I'll quickly tell you what each monster does. Blue is a big blue dumbass that drank a little too much, and now he doesn't move very fast. He's also just never a threat, so just run away for like 4 seconds and he's gone. Green is a blind monster that only attacks when you make noise. He's almost never a threat. Orange is next, and he's probably the most threatening monster in the game. If you don't feed the little shit, he'll come out and follow a fucking line on the ground, so you can easily just hide. And the last monster is Purple. I kid you not, I never saw this guy in my playthrough. That's how easy it is to avoid him. He hides inside vents, and if you walk on a puddle of the vent he's in, he'll kill you. That's it. But all these monsters are not a threat at all. So besides the monsters, how do you win? At the start of each night, you'll be given a task, and you have to complete that task while monsters chase you. That would be fine if it weren't for the fact that every task is super easy. All the tasks are just fetch quests that can be completed in 2 minutes. So after all that rambling, do I even have to say what I rate this game? The game is so bad that I wouldn't even recommend playing the game as a joke. It's just so mindless. So let's just move on. In conclusion, Roblox games can be very good if you give them a chance. But some games can be as bad as people say they are. But people should just give Roblox a chance instead of just blindly hating it. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.